Some people don't hurt you by leaving. They hurt you by staying while slowly teaching you that your feelings don't matter. You wait, you explain, you adjust, until one day, you stop speaking, not because you have nothing to say, but because no one is listening. Now, the story begins. The story Daniel was the kind of man people described as easy to be with. Not because life with him was easy, but because he made things easier for everyone else. He didn't argue, he didn't demand, he didn't make scenes. If something bothered him, he processed it quietly. If someone crossed a line, he gave them the benefit of the doubt. If a relationship felt one-sided, he told himself, "Maybe I'm expecting too much." Daniel believed maturity meant patience, and patience meant silence. For a long time, that belief worked, or at least, it looked like it did. At work, Daniel was dependable. He stayed late. He fixed problems that weren't his. When credit was given, his name was often missing, but he told himself results mattered more than recognition. In friendships, he was the listener, the one people called when life fell apart, the one who remembered details no one else cared about. And in love, Daniel gave everything quietly. He was in a relationship that appeared stable from the outside. No drama, no loud fights, no obvious cracks. But behind closed doors, Daniel was shrinking. Every time he tried to express something, he was met with calm dismissal. "You're reading too much into it. It's not that deep. You always take things personally." So he stopped bringing things up. Not because the pain disappeared, but because being misunderstood hurt more than being silent. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Daniel noticed how often he waited for replies, how often plans changed without explanation, how affection became conditional. Yet he stayed, because he had convinced himself that leaving meant failure, that endurance was proof of love, that strong people didn't walk away, they adjusted. Until one evening, something small happened. Daniel had shared something important earlier that day, something personal, something that took effort to say. The response came hours later. "Oh, okay." That was it. No question, no curiosity, no care. And in that moment, Daniel didn't feel angry. He felt clear. Clear in a way that scared him, because he realized the truth he had been avoiding. He wasn't asking for too much. He was asking the wrong person. That night, Daniel didn't cry. He didn't confront anyone. He didn't write long messages trying to be understood. He just sat with the feeling, and for the first time, he listened to himself. He asked a simple question. When did I start believing that being loved meant being quiet? The answer hurt, because the silence he had mastered was the same silence that had erased him. The next day, something changed. Not suddenly, not dramatically. Daniel stopped explaining himself. When conversations felt forced, he let them end. When effort wasn't returned, he didn't compensate. When he felt ignored, he didn't chase reassurance. People noticed. Some asked, "Is something wrong?" Others said, "You seem distant." Daniel smiled politely. Nothing was wrong. He was just done begging for space in places where he was already invisible. As days passed, something unexpected happened. The silence that once felt heavy started to feel peaceful. He had time again, time to think, time to breathe, time to remember who he was before he learned to minimize himself. Some people faded out of his life quietly. Others tried to pull him back with confusion. "Why are you so cold now?" "You've changed." Daniel didn't argue, because he finally understood something important. People get uncomfortable when you stop accepting what they were comfortable giving. He began choosing his words carefully, and sometimes choosing no words at all. Not out of bitterness, not out of pride, but out of self-respect. Weeks later, Daniel ran into someone from his past. They smiled and said, "You're so calm now." Daniel thought about it. He wasn't calmer, he was lighter, because he had let go of the need to be understood by people who never tried to listen. He learned that silence isn't weakness when it comes from clarity, that walking away quietly can be louder than any argument, and that sometimes the strongest thing you can say is nothing at all. Daniel didn't lose his voice. He just stopped wasting it. And in that silence, he finally found himself again.